Great. Thank you so much. So I've started by asking you guys, of which nobody gave me a response. Those people who have got experience with mortgages, or for example, if you have relatives who have ever taken mortgages, or even friends who have ever taken mortgages, do they recommend mortgages as a way of creating wealth? Or are they telling you that, hey, mortgages, from the word mortgage, death sentence, that this is a very, very bad thing? Remember, mortgage is where you as a young man or a young lady will go and take, for example, a loan of say 30 years, and then of course you use the house, use property as collateral, over a long period of time, like 20-30 years. Now then I would want us to assume a good apartment in Kileleshwa, will be going for how much? Can somebody knows? A good apartment in Kileleshwa, I think 2-bedroom the house in Kileleshwa would go for 15 million. They are 2-bedroom, a good apartment. All right, and then you take this as a loan. We say you are paying this loan over how many years here? Number of years. Let's talk of 10 years to be 10 years. Then we have in this case here interest per annum. So interest rate, PA, interest per annum. So let's be a bit conservative. We give it at 18%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are required here to do three things. We are required here to calculate the monthly payments, the monthly installments. That's number one. How much do we calculate? Or rather, how much shall we be paying on a monthly basis if we get this kind of a loan? And then number two, they want us to do a loan amortization schedule. Two things. And they brought this question in BDA last semester. This was really a very easy question. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been given a loan of how much? 15 million. Knowing its number of years, 10 years. Then we have interest in this case here per annum, 18%. They want monthly installments. So first of all, I have to get in this case here norm. I have to get what we call norm. Norm, these are number of months. So how many months do we have in total in these 10 years? Guys, you have to talk to me. How many months do we have in these 10 years? Yeah, thank you so much. So in this case, I'll come and say equals, because in Excel, I have to begin with equals. So I'll say equals, and then I take in this case the number of years, and I know that each year has got how many months? Each year has got 12 months. So I say enter like that. 120 is correct. And then because they are making monthly installments, even this interest has to be interest per month, not per annum. So I must come here and do int PM, interest per month. So very easy. I have to start because I'm dividing. That's still a function. I'm dividing, so I must start this thing with equals. So I'll be able to say equals. This is annual rate. And because I want monthly rate, so I'll divide this by what year? By 12 like that. Now, once I've been able to do that, ladies and gentlemen, now I have the total loan given today, 15 million. NOI is number of years, 10 years. Interest per annum, 18%. Number of months will be 120 because 10 times 12. And then interest per month will be 1.5%. Then the first question they want me to give them is the installment per month. So the installment per month, this is basically what we call the PMT, close bracket. The PMT function, PMT stands for what we call payment. So this payment, how do we calculate it? It's very easy. It's straight away in Excel. So I'll be able to say equals, it's PMT. I want to use PMT function, PMT. This calculates the payment for a loan based on a constant payment and a constant interest rate. It calculates the payment for a loan. It's telling us PMT is very, very important. So you need to come here, ladies and gentlemen, and they say what year you tab. Then you pick the monthly rate, interest rate per month. You're following this thing here. You say comma. Then we have number of periods, which are the number of months. How many of them? 120, comma. Then we have the present value. Present value in this case is 15 million. The loan that is being given today. And remember this schedule, is normally done from the perspective of what the bank is doing. So the bank is giving out this money, this 15 million. So when it's giving out the money, then from the eyes of the bank, it's a negative cash flow. So I have to say negative here. This PV should be negative here. Negative 15 million, like that. And then you close brackets and then you say enter. So it means that if I take a 15 million loan over this number of months, every year, every month, I'll be paying 270,277. So is there somebody who was able to get this value? Please, I would want to see my students here dancing. If you're able to get this, what they gave us this question last semester, this was really, really easy. All my students right now, as you're marking, all my students are really, this is easy peasy. Easy peasy. Everybody will be able to pass here. All right. So I'm looking at the comments to see whether there is any ninja who wants me to repeat. Great. And then remember our tradition breeded. We should be able to dance a little bit as accountants. Whenever we get these things right, we need to dance a little bit. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, once I've gotten this, how do I do a loan amortization schedule? Very easy. 2 minutes. Loan amortization schedule. Loan amortization schedule. So first of all, I have to do, in this case here, a sequence of all these number of months, 1 to 20. I have to write this sequence down. How do I write it? I will come and say equals. So I say sequence, and the series. In Form 3, you may have avoided the sequence and the series. They're arithmetic, geometric progression. Now you're getting them here. But fortunately here, it's Excel doing sequence. Right? So I can see sequence here. So I'll be able to come and say tab. So sequence is there. So rows, how many months do we have? 120. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't even close brackets. I'll simply hit enter. And then remember always to leave space here for 0. 0, like that. All right. So if I say, ladies and gentlemen, in this case that I would want to see whether I've gone all the way to 120, it's very easy. Control down arrow. You can see it has gone all the way to 120. I'm telling you, I'm so happy. So do we have anybody who has a computer that does not have that sequence thing? Anybody who has a computer which doesn't have that sequence thing? Anybody who has a computer that doesn't have that sequence thing, please talk to me. Sequence for writing, very, very important here. Because at times the examiner may tell you to write number 1 up to 10,000. If you don't have sequence functionality, Aaron, then you will be in big problems. You will be in big problems. Fortunately, RCM is able to make arrangements here with our local partners here for a very small fee. You guys now have this Excel 2021. If you don't have Excel 2021, you don't have the sequence function. You don't have the sequence function. And all my students must get this 2021. This 2021. I'll not show you the old styles. No. So unfortunately, the students who do not have this 2021, they will be able to just look at what we are doing. All right. But do we have anybody now who has? Henry, I'll be able to tell you how you'll get it. I'll be able to tell you how you'll get it. I will be able to tell you how you will get it. Very easy. All right, so then I'll come and repeat here pretty fast, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing something very nice here. So I'll come and repeat here. What have you done, Mwalimu? What I've done here, if I say Control-Shift down, I simply say delete, I go back. So I will skip always one line here. I can even skip 2 of them because I may want to put titles. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you'll be able to add rows as much as you want. Right? So in that case here, I want to do a sequence. So equals sequence. Sequence. I double click or I tab. So rows, how many rows downwards? 120. I say enter. Then I write 0 here, like that. So of course, this is time. If you don't have space, you can either delete this thing, or you can simply come here. If you don't have space, you can simply come and highlight this one. When you highlight like now that, you can create whatever spaces you want to create. by saying Control Shift Add. You can see I'm adding as many as I wish. So you can use this concept of control. So you take Control plus Shift, and then we have here equals or add. Basically, we are shifting to add. We are shifting to add. To add a row or a column. To add a row or a column. To add a row or a column. So simply, if I come and say Control Z. I hope you guys have been able to see that. All right. So you can easily add, you come, if you want to drop this down, you simply highlight the whole row. You simply come here like that. You highlight that where 0 is, where you want to add a new row. So you keep on saying Control Shift down arrow as much as you wish. And then you'll be able to create now column titles here. So like now, this is the time, number of months. All right. I'll be interested in what we call the opening loan balance, the opening balance. The opening balance. I will be interested in knowing, ladies and gentlemen, the PMT, how much should be paid on a monthly basis. All right. I'll be interested in getting the PMT. I'll be interested in the interest, monthly interest. I will be interested, ladies and gentlemen, in what we call what here? The principal amount. And then we have, ladies and gentlemen, what we call the loan balance, closing balance. So closing balance, like that. So can I kindly get to know whether you guys have been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached? Can I get to know whether you guys have been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached? Let me know whether you guys have been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached. Can I know whether you guys have been able to reach where Mwalimu has reached? All right. So times 0 times 0 times 0 times 0 times 0. What do we know about times 0? We shall work with the amount we have, what we have borrowed here. So times 0, we shall come and say equals, how much have we borrowed here? 15 million. I'll be able to show you something very interesting here. Times 0, 15 million. All right. Then come in this case here to time 1. Time 1, of course, we shall open with what we began with. Like that. From there, do we have the PMT? I'll still leave those dollars there. I'll show you how to format those things later. But for now, I will assume we're working with dollars. So do we know the PMT? PMT is the payment. How much are we paying on a monthly basis? It is here. And whatever we are paying on a monthly basis is going to be constant throughout. So if it's going to be constant throughout, what should I do to show that constancy? If it's going to be constant throughout, what should I do to show that constancy? Somebody talk to me. Somebody, remember, we are supposed to be getting a present here. To show that constancy, what am I supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen, here to show that constancy? Dollarization. It is FN F4. You press that F4 on top to lock. You dollarize. You put dollars all over. From there, I got the next one. Can somebody talk to me tonight? What do you think shall I do to be able to get the interest? What do you think shall I do to be able to get the interest amount? Please talk to me. What do you think shall I do to be able to get the interest amount? Interest, you're right. I will come and, interest will always be pegged on the opening balance. Interest will always be pegged on the opening balance. So I will take the opening balance, I say, times the rate of interest per month. This one here. And this rate of interest per month will never change. The rate of interest per month will remain the same throughout. So if it is going to remain the same throughout for sure, I know I need to come and dollarize it. I need to come and, in this case here, block it. Ladies and gentlemen, after I do that, I will be able to get the principal amount. How do I get the principal? I know that the payment I make every day covers two things. The payment I pay every month covers two things. It covers the interest and the principal. So basically, interest plus principal equals PMT. So to get the principal, to get the principal, you shall always take the payment, and then you say minus the interest. Minus the interest. So anytime you want to get the principal, ladies and gentlemen, here you take the payment, you say minus who? Minus this interest, and then of course you put the next one, the closing one, you tab like that. How do we get the closing balance? It's very easy. You take this closing balance here, you subtract the principal paid. Remember, balances can only go down by the principal. Interest, this is what the Islam in this case I don't want, because you know interest, it's quite a sad situation, especially when you're charging in this case here quite very high, like this 18% per annum is very high. All right, so in this case here we are able to come here and simply say enter there. So then what I will do, I will simply come and highlight this row. You highlight this row, the first row, and once you have reached there, then you come and hold this rabbit of ours by the tail here. You hold it by the tail. So remember, we have the white rabbit and then we have the black rabbit. The black rabbit is the angry one, is the hungry one. It's angry and hungry at the same time. So the black rabbit, you must always put it in its cage like this. And then what do? You double click. When you double click, check whether this thing is amortizing. Come here, simply say control down arrow. If it's amortizing, it should be able to go to 0. If it's amortizing, it should be able to go to, when you see this one showing, it means that the cell is very small. And then you want everything to fit in, then what you need to do is to come here and highlight everything, and then you go anywhere here and double click. You double click, then you'll be able to get this thing nicely there. Nicely there. So the loan should be able to always amortize to 0. It can be 0.001, like now this one here. But it should be able to amortize to 0. So before I repeat, assuming, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to know the total amount, assuming I would want to freeze, remember it's very important, I would want to freeze row 51. Somebody who watched my video, how will I be able to freeze? How will I be able to freeze row number 51? I would want to freeze this row number 51. How will I be able? I've given you enough videos. Freezing panes. To freeze row 51, you will come to row number 52, like that. And then you go to view here. So view, you say here, freeze panes. So I say freeze panes. Why am I freezing my panes? So that as I move down, my good students, as I move down, you can see even the line has been drawn. As I move down, now my Excel will move down, but my titles are seen here. So that I can now very comfortably say control down arrow. Yeah, to 120. So when I'm here, I may be interested in getting a few things. I may be interested in knowing how much is the total amount I've paid, total interest, and even the total principal. I may be interested in these 3. So no worries, I'll come and highlight this. I will come and basically highlight these 3, like that. And once I highlight those 3, I will simply come and say alt equals. So when I say alt equals, you can see this thing is huge. It will not scare me, it's huge. So I need to come here and simply do like that, go anywhere in between, double click, it fits. So it means, ladies and gentlemen, that in total I borrowed the principal here, which is 50. That's what I borrowed. But over these 10 years, what has happened? Interest alone is 17 million. I've paid more. Interest is higher than what I borrowed. All right. So you can see this plus this, total amount paid is 32 million. So now the question is, mortgages for sure, they are very, very expensive. Before I repeat, mortgages for sure, they are very, very expensive. But now the question is, do you think, in this case, if you're a young lady, because mortgages are supposed to be long-term, 25 years plus. Because if a mortgage is over 10 years, like now, this one, you can see people are paying 270,000. How many 25 years, 22 years will be able to pay 270? They can't. So for you to be able to have a lower amount, then you need to spread that figure, spread over 30 years like that. So what do you think from what you guys have seen? We borrowed 15 million, interest alone is 17. You borrowed 15, and you will end up paying over 30 million, over 32 million actually. So is this mortgage really a good thing or a bad thing? I can't see you guys discussing, and today we are discussing investments. Today we are discussing investments. Today we are discussing investments. Yeah, I will repeat, yes. I will repeat, yes. I will repeat. Fahad, very good. At least Fahad has gotten this. Fahad has gotten this. All right. All right. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. The investment is expensive, or the investment is not good. Get to saying not good. Esther, not bad. It's a bad thing according to Edna. Please repeat. Sister Leah, I will repeat. Sister Leah, I will repeat. Great, Mayo. You know, if you are an advanced Excel user, we should avoid using, in this case here, what here? We should try to avoid using the mouse. As you advance in this subject, you should avoid using the mouse totally as we advance. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing. Normally, what happens with these mortgages, you have to be, number one, very sure. And ensure that you are following all those doctrines of the bank. Don't go for a shortcut. So if the bank tells you that if you're taking a mortgage, they can only allow the installment yet to take like 30% mark or 40%, talk of 35% maximum of your salary. Don't go backward or trying to tell somebody that my income is very small, but I would want you to fix things out. And then you get like the mortgage payment is taking 70% of your income. That is very risky. That's very risky. This thing, in this case here, you need to get a mortgage. A mortgage, the longer duration you take, the more expensive it will become. So then what you're supposed to do is to ensure that you have a bigger income. So that if possible, even start telling these guys here, let's double the rate of what here, the rate of paying this thing. If you're to double the rate of paying this thing, ladies and gentlemen, for instance here, just check what is happening here. Just check what is happening here. Assuming, check what is happening here. Assuming, ladies and gentlemen, assuming, this is what we have here. Assuming this is what we have here. Okay, great. So assuming in this case here, ladies and gentlemen, we were to do what here? Let me just unfreeze these. So assuming, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, we were, this thing was really down. Great. So assuming in this case, instead of paying in 10 years, we pay this in 5 years. We pay it in 5 years. If you were to pay it in 5 years, then what would happen? Of course, the installment will go very high, but let's see what is happening. Of course, the number of months now, they go to what year? They go to 60 because of 5 times 12. They go to 60. So I'm interested in seeing what happens in 60. What happens in 60 here? So you can see in 60, automatically, of course, it continues because I've given a bigger duration. But in 60, it is fully what year amortized? It's fully amortized. And when it's fully amortized, what will happen if I simply come and just delete everything here? All right. All right. And then I come here, ladies and gentlemen, and I get in this case here, for example, I know this is a PMT, it's constant. This is what here. So if I say alt, in this case here, equals, what am I getting here? You can see now the interest is about half of what I borrowed, right? And you can see at the end of the day, I'm now going to pay 22 million instead of that. So it depends on, ladies and gentlemen, really, how aggressive are you as an individual? Like myself, I took a loan when I was at 27 years and I was able to do a good house, right? 27 years, all right? And I was able to clear it. You know, it's all about how aggressive are you. If you're able to get money, especially from other sources, whenever you get money from other sources, you go and tell if it's Equity Bank, I have $1 million here. And of course, you must read the clauses very well to ensure that they do not penalize you for, paying earlier. You must always agree with them on that. Whenever I get some money, because whether you like it or not, if you are taking a 30-year mortgage, whether you like it or not, something will always crop in between. 30 years is quite a long duration. Over those 30 years, you'll be very lucky if you'll not have been sacked from your job. Normally, what happens, 30 years is too long. So if you can try to shorten the loan repayment schedule, the loan repayment period, the better. Yeah, the better. So to me, I would prefer these mortgages like 100%. They are good because they keep you disciplined. They will be able to ensure that you're financially literate. Because hakuna kitu mbaya, ladies and gentlemen, like having surplus money in your pocket. When you have surplus money, you stay like this, something tells you that, hey, let's go to Blue Post and eat something there. All the way even from Kajiado, you go to Thika. All right? Because you have something. When, for example, even right now, like the mortgage I'm servicing today, because I always keep on taking mortgages, I'm a firm believer of Modigliani and Miller. The gentleman who told us that loans are what? Yeah, they are good. They're good. Even superior countries, the superpowers, they're taking loans. Who am I to resist loans? I'm telling you, if it were not for the loans that I service, I'm so sure with my salary, because I get a good salary, if it was not for loans that I'm servicing, I would not be teaching here today. Saturday evening. My colleagues are not doing what I'm doing here. My colleagues are out there having what here. So when you have these great loans here, they help you to be focused in life. They help you to be focused in life. True or false? You know, this is just a hypothesis. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I would rather have something when it reaches like 3 a.m. in the morning. Something in this case here wakes me up very fast. I mean, it's good to be disciplined. And one of the ways, because so many people, I normally do these financial literacy programs for very many organizations outside here. I can tell you, if there is anything that is stressing your employees today, it's financial illiteracy. You get an employee getting 100,000, but every other day, they're at the doorstep of the accountant asking for an advance, simply because they're disorganized. They've never gotten somebody in this case here to talk to them. All right? And you can't blame them, because there is no system that teaches people financial literacy, including our CPA. You will get so many accountants who have never been to anybody's financial literacy class. All right. I strongly believe that financial literacy should be taught to students even from primary school level. It should be a subject, leave alone bringing it in FM of CPA intermediate level and then teaching it like, juju. Financial literacy is quite a lot. It involves a lot of what your sacrifices. All right. Like I was telling you this afternoon, you can't be that type of a person who goes to a club to pay a bill of 40,000 for beer. And those are just your mere friends. Not unless it's something that you really budget. You know, at times you can, it's life. You can budget, like, for example, I'm going to teach these students. The moment my exam students hit 500, then I can go and have like, of course, I don't take what you guys are thinking, but I can go with a few friends, a few teachers. We do this, blah, 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 blah. Then that one is okay, because, you know, it's budgeted. But most of the beers being taken here by many ninjas outside here, it's impromptu. It's impulse purchases. As I was telling these guys in the afternoon, and I saw most of them really laughed. One actually called me. All these clubs, I can tell you, they are set in a way to snatch the boy child money from their pockets. The boy child. Of course, even ladies, of course, they're spending quite a lot. But in most cases, the ones who get highly confused, the easily confusable ones, it is us. You go to some of these clubs, I was told, like in Kilimani, where they even import some people. I don't know where they get these people. Those people must be people of grade, high grade, I don't know. So, and they're very clever. When you go there around 6 p.m., the music is a bit low. So it keeps on by 8 p.m. This gentleman wanted to go home about 9. Not 9 p.m. ndio naambiwa sasa anguka naye. Sasa hata hii nyumbani mpaka kesho asubuhi. Na hako na watu wakubwa. Inakuwa international disaster. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there is anything that I would want to leave for you as a legacy, it's very important for us to ensure that we are financially literate. And for us to do that, among the things that can really assist us is to ensure that we are working with loans. Loans will always make you toe the line like that. And then how do you build up your capacity for these loans? Number one, you must avoid being listed negatively at the CRB. You know, there are people, you get even a very strong man. These are men who has cleared intermediate level, others advanced level. And then they tell you straight away that mimi nimechukua kitu ya hustler fund, sirudishi. Na ni pesa ngapi 500. Kidogo jamaa ako listed. We should never spoil our credit history. Whenever you're listed negatively, your records will remain with those guys for how many years? 7 good years. It doesn't mean that you can't get loans. You can get loans. There are banks that are that have a higher risk appetite. They can give you loans, but of course at a higher rate. All right. But most banks will not give you a loan if you're what year listed. They're not to give you. They're not to give you. All right. We must also be good in terms of saving. Yeah, we must be good in terms of what year savings here with circles. Yeah, please choose a very good circle and don't go for those circles that are really overpromising. Like I normally tell most of these circles, if you get a circle paying like 18% return, even 15% dividends and interests, most of those circles are not genuine. Because if they're giving their members interest at 12%, where do they get this? So if you go like to all these circles, even the big ones, like in Metropolitan, the other day I saw another one, a very, very big one, government owned, all right, being mentioned that it is becoming illiquid, bankrupt, all right, simply because they're giving their members interest rates which are not sustainable, right? If they're giving their members loans at 12%, then how can they give dividends stroke interests for the member deposits, which are higher? I mean, you know, profit should be revenue minus cost. When the revenue, what you're generating ourselves as a circle is less than our cost, then there is a problem. And that is why most of these circles, just to please the members, are always borrowing from cooperative bank. One of these circles has got over 1 billion Kenya shillings belonging to cooperative bank. So they borrow at 18% to lend to members at 12%. And that is why if you ask me, if there is anything that should be fought on these circles here, it is this thing of directorship. Director should not really be like appointed by who? By the members. Because you know they want to please the members. And then they end up giving something that is not sustainable. All right. So you get like most of these circles are going down and down and down. But if you get a very good circle, and I don't want to, mention circles here, you go and do your research. All right. If you get good circle savings and the credit cooperatives, they've really, really helped some of us. Now let me get back. Students have asked me to repeat. Let me repeat this. So that would mean straight away I go here back. I did a big blunder here. Actually, I should just start from first principles here. Yeah, did a big blunder here. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we have something very nice here. What do we have here? We have a loan. How much are we borrowing? This sheet doesn't look very nice. So how much are we borrowing? Let me work with a small loan for a common mwananchi. So a loan of 5 million. A loan of 5 million is what we are going to work with. All right. Number of years are how many? Number of years. I'm trying to see some loan that I took here. So we have here interest rate per annum. Interest rate per annum. Most of these banks now are upwards of 18%. Some have gone to 20%. Now, then they want us to give them, like now here it has to be number of months, no. So how do I get number of months? Very easy. I'll be able to come here and say equals. I pick this 5 years. I say times 12. Because there are 12 months. Then we have interest. Interest in this case here per month. So it will be this 18%. I know it's for a whole year, and because these are monthly payments I'm making, divide this by 12, which gives me 1.5%. Then from there, I will do a loan amortization schedule. So this loan amortization schedule, I must have time. I must have, in this case here, opening balance. Then we have, in this case here, the PMT, how much is being paid. Then we have the interest. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, great. I can see very good contributions there. So, of course, after interest, we have the principal. Principal, the principal amount. And then after that, we have in this case here the loan closing balance. So we have the closing balance. So closing balance. So of course, I would want these words to be seen. Like now, this doesn't fit. So if it doesn't fit, we don't do what some students do, like you get a student dancing around with this. No, you simply come and highlight the whole thing and then double click anywhere. So you can see it is opening up very nicely. So time, I'll have to begin with 0 here, but of course I skip and use the sequence. Now I can see a number of months of mine are 60. So I'm using the sequence. So equals sequence, equals sequence, like that. How many rows are we talking about? 60. You say enter, then come and add 0 there. So first of all, I would want to know whether you guys have reached where I have reached. Have you reached where I have reached? Because now I'm repeating in a way that everybody should be able to understand now. Yeah, this reducing balance done. If you repay over a shorter period, yes, very good. Time value of money. Live in big cities, however, it depends on the mortgage. Maureen, great, I've seen, very important. There are also tax benefits. This is Veronica leading, very good. It's not a good investment. Others are still saying no. Disadvantages, very expensive. Akikaa RCM kidogo for 2 more months, atakuwa sawa zaidi. Mortgages are bad, mortgages are good. For properties that appreciate, yes. The formulas I'm repeating now. Having one for the road, we shall overcome. Good human being, we shall overcome. True. You're right. Very true. Great. Alternative, like now, Muru, perhaps you could be a Muslim. Rate per month. Thank you very much. It's constant. A drink occasionally, we shall overcome. How do we get interest per month? Lori is asking there. Make it a percentage, okay. Somebody saying Mwasibu there. Mention a circle. Why can't we amortize per annum? It's because, Sherry, we are paying this thing on a monthly. Do you pay your loan, Sherry, on a yearly basis? That bank must be very good for you. Mimi sipati PM ya 0.015. Sawa. You get it now. So sipati PM ya 0. Angalia hapa tena pole pole kwa nimekimbia sana because I thought today is a class for just advisory, but I'm happy to see that there are students who are willing to learn. Look at this. What did I do to get this interest of I took, you see 18% is for a whole year. You divide a year's got how many months? 12. If you wish, you can change this to percentage, of course, but I don't want to change the percentage. All right. Number of months, what did I do to get number of months? Equals, I pick the number of years. I pick the number of years times 12. Times 12. Because you see, for number of months, how many months do we have in a year? 12 months. So we have got 5 years. Number of months will be 5 times 12. It's giving me 60 like that. Now, after I do this, then it will be very important for me to come and create a column here for PMT. For PMT. You see, like, ladies and gentlemen, I normally mentor my students very well. You see, like I told all these advanced level students here to join this exam, they never joined it. And I'm so sure that they are passing the exams because I'm seeing what is happening at the marking centers. So you can imagine, like, now the students who have done Excel, and you're going to be in the same BDA class with them. You will never catch up with those guys. Maybe you need in this case here to hop onto a horse to be able to match them. That 2 weeks difference, you've been around, moving around. It's a big, big thing, trust you me. Fortunately, you can pay for the videos. You keep on now watching the videos for the whole week. All right. All right. Now we are getting this PMT. How do we get PMT? PMT is payment, the monthly payments now, the PMT, the installments here. Very easy, equals. So we have the PMT tab. You know, they tell you, they give you what to do here, the rate. So the rate here is rate per month, interest per month, comma. Then we have number of periods. Number of periods. How many months are we talking about? 60, comma. Then we have in this case here PV. Present value is the loan amount. And remember this loan amount, never forget, it has to be negated, negative, because you're looking at this from the perspective of what year? From the perspective of the bank. Then you enter. These are in square brackets, they're not a must. So this ninja will be paying about 126. Namna hiyo. Namna hiyo. Haya, sasa tuende kazi. Time 0, just record the closing balance alone. Time 0, you record the closing balance. So here we have this one. Yeah, we have that one. Time 1, the opening balance will be the closing balance here. Use tab. PMT, I know the PMT, come and say equals. You pick this one, and then you say F4. You see, PMT is going to be constant. Yeah, I will look at the charts again. I'll look at the charts again. PMT is going to be constant. So if it's constant, I know you know the concept of dollarizing. We must dollarize this. We must put these dollars here to show that this thing is constant. Then you come and say tab. So from there now you come and give us the interest. The interest is always pegged on the opening balance. Interest is always pegged on the opening balance. So you say times the rate of interest, which is the rate of interest per month. And remember, this rate of interest per month will not keep on changing. I need to dollarize it. Anything that doesn't change, dollarize it. Dollar is the heaviest currency. Once you have, in this case here, dollar with yourself, even how you move, I mean, it's in a slow fashion here. So in this case, anything that is constant, it shall always be dollarized. So you come here and dollarize this like that. You go to tab. So from there, we ask ourselves, what is the principal? Very easy. I know that the PMT that I'm paying today covers the interest and the principal. The interest and the principal. So in this case, what we have here, I will come and pick this one, and then we say minus the rate of interest like that. Then you go to the tab. You go to the next one here. How do I get closing balance? Closing balance can only be reduced by the principal payment. By the principal payment like that. Kuisha maneno. Kuisha maneno. Kuisha kabisa. Then come here. You highlight the whole row. And then you come here and beat this up. You beat it. So rub it. You beat it from behind. 2 strokes of the cane. And then, of course, you'll be able to straight away go to the last month to see whether this has amortized. It has amortized fully. I can see there are bigger numbers here. I will not be scared at all. So we'll come there. I will be able to do like that. All right. Great. So do we have anybody whose loan amortization schedule has amortized? Do we have anybody? Yeah, the sequence is because you do not have a good Excel, current Excel 2021, and I've given you a solution, Moses. Have you seen my name in the winning team? Tara, I've not seen your name, Tara. Which winning team is that? Which winning team is that? 18% divided by 12. Dollarize. Somebody has answered you there. Repeat PMT, I'll repeat. Fahad should give us the secret. Yes. PMT nakuja negative. Why? I'll be able to answer you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, you see this PMT. I find quite negative. I'm you ignore the negative, but the very best, this PMT, let me repeat, PMT. Come and say equals PMT. In this case here, tab. Open brackets there. What is the rate? It is monthly rate. You say comma. From there, number of periods, there are 60. Number of periods, there are 60. You say comma. Now from there, you come and get this present value, which happens to be this 5 million, isn't it? But remember, it's a loan. Normally, this loan has to be put here as captured here as a negative. It has to be captured there as a negative. If you don't do that, you'll always be getting a negative answer. So to get a positive PMT, we are missing something. Okay. Yeah, sorry, let me repeat. I must have taken this wrongly. So the rate is this one. We say comma, number of periods, number of months are those ones. We say comma, the present value. So we say minus this 5 million. Then we say enter. We are getting that figure. So have you now seen how I got that PMT? We start from there. Have you seen how I got that PMT? Okay. A good discussion. Yeah, this financial literacy we give the discussions here to our students for free. Like today I've discussed mortgages. Tomorrow I'll be bringing in the issue of what money market funds, and then we shall be able to finish with the government bonds. If you are here and you're my student and you are earning some income and you don't have any government bond, when I meet you next, ndakuchuna serious kabisa. Hauna government bond hata 50,000, hata 100,000. Yeah, sasa ni baba yako wa kimasomo, una government bond, nitachuna wewe kidogo. Not unless you're a Muslim. No Muslim, they don't believe in interest. Interest to them is haram. It's haram. And to some extent, I agree with them. All right? It's very, very, Muslim is about uplifting one another. So if you give somebody Shylock money at 20% per month, this guy will never pay that money back. You'll have to go and take his assets. All right? All right? All right? Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, please come here. Listen. So, in many cases, I've gotten students in this case here who tell me that who come to the bank, who go to the bank, and then they tell now the banker, like they asked us last semester, they tell the banker that now we can't pay this amount here. Please increase this for us. So, there's no problem. So, make this 10 years. So, if I make this 10 years, then what happens? What I should do is to come now. It has moved now from 60 to 120. Now I need to come here. I go here to where we have this 60. You must have seen your bank doing this. So you come here. So now you see it has not amortized now to 0. Now you see when you are here, you will come and say equals sequence. Sequence, I can see it is here. So rows, I want to move from 60 to 1. So and I want 60 extra rows. 60 extra rows, comma. So columns, I don't have in this case here, or rather I can say just one column. One column. I say comma. Now you see why I was moving all the way to this, because now we have start. Now I'm not going to start from 0. Now I'm going to start from 61. 61. You say comma. How many steps? It's one step at a time. 1 to 61, 62, 63. One step at a time. And then I should be able to just say enter like that. So this thing has been able to continue. So once I reach there, then I should be able to come and hold on to this like that. The last one here. And then I hit this tail here like that. When I do like that, ladies and gentlemen, Excel is a genius. Don't even know how these young men now can marry a lady who does not know Excel. Don't do that. Now Excel is life. Especially when I'll be teaching you like how to do Excel with ChatGPT. You'll understand the point that I'm putting across. You can see it's one tonight as amortized. All right. So now you can see, for example, ladies and gentlemen, here, a loan that we took, a 5 million loan that we took, if you increase the duration, do you know how much you'll pay, my young friend? Do you know how much you'll pay my alt equals? Let me come here and just make this bigger. Make this bigger. So you'll be able to see we borrowed 5 million. We have paid interest alone is 5.8 million. Interest alone. But at the end of the day, your house is also doing what you're appreciating. Your house is also appreciating. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:57. I think I've done enough. I've done enough for tonight. So if you don't mind, I would want to close this meeting. And is asking whether a master's in finance is viable. What I normally tell my students at this juncture, the CPA and BCom that you've done is enough for accounts. All right, change. So if I were you, I would consider MBA, data analytics and robotics. All right, unless you are somebody of my age who does not want many new things. So if you don't want many new things, then you can do that MBA, finance, M-commerce. But I'm telling you right now, if there is anything, even from, because I run an audit firm, I run a company, certified public accountants, most of our clients nowadays are giving you data. They just don't want financial statements. They want data analysis. Data analysis. So if I were you, already I have a, CPA is really the epitome of most of these accounting courses. Once you've done your CPA, most of this is you're repeating yourself. Now branch out and do data analytics. Where you'll be taught, in this case here, Excel. Actually, I've already started teaching you guys Excel. Very well. If you remember like some of the things. Yeah, if you remember some of the things, I'm teaching, ladies and gentlemen, I'm teaching you a high I'm teaching you high level Excel. It's Excel that you can't even get anywhere easily. You can't get anywhere easily. Let me just show you something here. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. You know, okay, let me just work with this. This could even be much better. The Excel that I'm teaching you guys here, by the time you'll be finishing Excel, then you get outside there, you'll become very serious data analysts. Very serious data analysts. Myself, Excel has taken me to places that I would have never stepped into if it were not for Excel. Now, I don't know whether there is anybody who has watched this video on flash fill. Is there anybody who has watched this video on flash fill? Flash fill, flash fill, flash fill. So you hire somebody, you tell somebody very good instructions. When these people are coming here, let them write, or rather write their names like this: first name, different cell, another name, different cell. But all these ninjas come and they just put all the names on one cell. So perhaps you only want the first names. So then what do? You'll be able to come here and you say, in this case here, I mean, you type Joshua. You type Joshua like that. And once you have typed Joshua, you have said here control, in this case here, control enter to be left there. Then you should be able to flash fill. So to flash fill, filling this like a flash flood, you simply say control E, the one that we have here, control E. So you can see this thing has been able to pick 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now come, for example, here, you can see there are others that are small kids, as usually as accountant who is mixing up. And maybe I would just want to show. You see, you want to show a case. I can't start with this red because red is okay. So I have to come and, for example, this is where we are spoiling. So I come and write this very well. And this Excel is beautiful. It is able to sniff. So I say control enter. And then it doesn't matter. When I say control E, it will be able to flash upwards and downwards, both ways. Control E. You can see what it has done. Now, everything in this case here is there in proper case. Proper case, purple. Control Z. Now, at times, ladies and gentlemen, you will get yourself, so this thing is still under development. It's an AI tool in Excel. So you may come and see, see what this pink, how it is written. It's written in a bad way. So I may want to correct this. So to correct this, I'll come and tell it pink the normal way. Then I say control enter. And then I'll be able to say control E. Now you can see, this one has asked, no. I know why it came like that, control Z. I should have put this as capital to confuse it. Capital P, like that. Great. So then I have here control enter, and then we have in this case here control E. So you can see in this case here, I've really confused it. It's giving me some things correct, but there is this BB, blue, OO. So I'll only correct one, and now it will be able to sense just one of them. So come just here, and then you just delete these, and even that one, and then you write B, proper. You write B proper. And then you simply say enter. It will be able to, even correct this orange. Enter. C. This thing. Excel. I even don't imagine why you guys are not watching those videos that I'm putting for you there. Those videos are crazy. They are crazy. They are crazy. They are crazy. They are good. So can we, ladies and gentlemen, then, where we have reached, and don't call me tomorrow in the morning 5. Today I have to sleep. Today I would want to sleep properly. So can we say bye-bye? Have we done something nice? Have we done something nice? Great. Have we done something nice? Have you enjoyed, guys? Have we enjoyed? Great. Thank you very much, Jared. Great. Thank you so much. You slept all the way. Who is this? Slept on the way. Thank you so much, Tara. We shall overcome. Abdi, thank you. My first time I've enjoyed, Doris. See you next time. It was nice. Please ensure that you are making RCM your best college. Continue in this case here, marketing us out there. Good night and bye. Good night and bye. RCM Babalao. That is the best. Actually, I'm going to write like that on Facebook. RCM Babalao.